Hello and welcome to the Find Your X podcast brought to you by Hurricane Marsh Outfitters. I'm your host, Jon Blevins, and sitting across from me today is our good friend, Tim McHugh. What's going on, buddy?
Good to see you.
Yes,
Thanks for
sir.
having me.
Oh, man, I'm glad you can make it out between your busy golf schedule lately and
Yeah,
farming coming up and everything.
The golf schedule, that's more my son, not me. I say that.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we went from he was playing golf. We played for Dominic, right?
Yes.
So we went, I guess are they doing tournaments right now?
Yeah, tournaments. As a freshman, he's playing on the JV team. So,
Oh, wow.
So Tuesday we had a tournament, 18-hole tournament all day long.
Wow.
And then yesterday was another tournament, started at 4 o'clock, got home about 9 o'clock. So
That's a day.
it's a day.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I always say I miss Wade and Macy's sports so much now that I'm older. I mean, I still get to do a lot of neat stuff with Sam and Macy traveling around. Wade's been in dental school, so I don't really get to see him much. But that's coming to an end. But then he's got to start the big boy job.
Yes.
So we'll get our time to do stuff again. We used to play hockey all together. But, man, that's cool. You get to enjoy, because I think golf's something that you really like as well.
I do.
And I know you were telling me earlier, man, it's cool to sit there and watch him perform and everything, but boy, you want to get up and swing a club
I want to get
yourself.
out there myself. And, you can't give any pointers. You can't do any coaching, so you just have to sit there, stay quiet. And,
Yeah.
it's hard for me sometimes, but we're learning.
Oh, yeah.
That's like my other kid can't playing football and basketball. You just sit there and just what we do.
It's a
At
whole
this age.
different sport because I know when we played hockey, I can't tell you how many times my wife, I'm sure it's probably hard to believe, but Amy almost got kicked out of the hockey games because she was throwing advice and criticizing the refs. Golf, you really can't yell and scream and, hey,
Yeah, you can't do much.
Yeah, so
do
it's a whole different thing. But we went from 90-degree weather. I remember you texted me, hey, man, it's hot out here. I'm doing this. We were getting this lined up. And then today it's like,
Cold.
yeah,
It's cold.
in the 40s.
Yeah.
So that's Missouri for you. You don't like the
Gotta
weather
love it.
stick around a couple days, and it's going to change.
It's going to change. No doubt.
Yeah. So besides that, I know it's just that time of the year. I know we're at turkey hunt and everything. They're putting anhydrous down now that we got this nice weather, and I'm sure that's starting to play in your mind as well.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. We're, this kind of weather today, not so much, but the past few days, it's like, it's go time. It's go time. I'd start thinking about getting crops in the ground, this, that, and the other, and then you have a day like today.
Yeah.
Kind of put you back to reality.
Yeah, it shuts you
It's only March.
down and reminds you, hey, it's still early.
Yeah.
And all that. But that's part of farming life. When it's time to go, you want to go before Mother Nature shuts you down.
Which could happen tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. You just don't know when the next big rain's
Mm-hmm.
coming. And this time of year, we're at least starting to get drier to where if you do get a big rain, you give it a couple days, you get some wind, it'll come about.
Sure.
But it was pretty amazing actually to be able to. I know at least where I hunt up there, they were saying for this time of year for them to be able to go like this is pretty
crazy.
special.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but for our guests that don't know, Tim caretakes, I'd say probably one of the most prestigious duck clubs.
That's what they say.
Yeah, would it be St. Charles County? I guess
It's St. Charles County.
Yeah.
Yes. Claims to be the oldest duck club west of the Mississippi.
Is that right?
It was founded in 1871.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of tradition, a lot of history.
Sure.
Really cool place we're fortunate enough to work there. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I when I was with the fire department, I don't know if you remember me coming down there.
I do.
I came down there, and I think Mark Ballman was my captain at the time. And we get down there, and I remember the first thing he said, "Now, Blevins, we're here to do a job. Don't be looking around at all the duck stuff." And because he knew how ate up I was about it. And I know me and you hit it off right off the bat. And we're like, I'm passing up the whole fire inspection thing, and we're talking about ducks. And yeah, you're, hey, look at this, look at that, and all the history. And yeah, I was just in awe when I walked in there. Really cool place.
Yeah, it's a great place. We're, like I said, Haley and the boys and I were fortunate enough. We've been there. This will be our 23rd year.
Wow.
And we love being every second of it. It's just incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some stories that, I mean, would you say 1871?
1871. Yes.
1871 has been around, and I remember while I was also a fireman, Horseshoe, which is just north of you guys, they had a fire there, and I was able to help at least, put that out and then save most of the clubhouse, and they were so nice. They're like, hey, anything we can do for your guys? And I had the oddest request out of everybody. It was like, hey, yeah, I'll take a water or whatever you got. I was like, can I look at your logbook? They looked at me like, what? And the one guy's like, oh, you must be a duck hunter.
Yep.
And so, I mean, they let me just thumb through it. And it was just neat to see, how far back that goes. And I was glad we saved that because there's so much history, and I'm sure you guys keep one too.
We do. We have, since 1871, our clubhouse is burnt down 4 times.
Really?
Yes.
How many floods?
Oh,
You probably can't keep track of them.
There.
Yeah.
Since we've been there, since 2004, we've had floods that have pushed us out of our house, my shop, office, and all that, 5.
Wow.
To where my shop and office, you've been there,
Yeah.
was 9 foot underwater.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's life on the river, though,
It's life. I mean, that's just part of it.
Yeah.
We're used to it now. But knock on wood, we've had a pretty good run here lately.
Yeah. Let's hit that one more time.
Yeah, because we're about due.
So through all those fires, were the logs actually saved, or did you lose any history?
No,
on that?
we did. Unfortunately, we lost quite a bit of history.
Oh, wow.
We lost, I think now our closest logbook we have is from 1951, 52.
Yeah.
So what is that, 80 years prior?
We
still lost.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but it's still even cool right now to look back at the books from the, early 50s and just see how times were and, the different limits and, areas they hunted then, which we still hunt now, or, new areas we've created. It's so cool.
Oh, I bet.
And then the stories, and we do have a lot of old pictures still. They saved some of those old guns, and it's just the tradition's amazing.
Yeah, and that's part of something that you can't really replace when you lose it, but it's also neat to look back on. You learn from it, gain a lot of respect from it, that kind of thing. So, I mean, that's cool. I'm glad you guys still have that, to at least look back on, and moving forward. I don't know if it changes game plans or any, thought processes as I don't know if you guys like impound new areas or do anything like that. Hey, we used to do this back in the 50s. This worked out really good. Maybe we need to revisit that again or something.
I mean, there's areas like right now, back in the 50s, and I still have a few members that are members there that were around back in the 80s, 90s with their dad.
Oh, yeah.
And they were saying, "Oh, this lake used to be incredible." Then it kind of fell off. We haven't been hunting much. Well, now we kind of reclaimed it, so we're trying to get it back to what it was back in the 80s and 90s. So it's just little things like that try to get it back to what it was, but there's a lot of new things too that we've improved on big time.
So do you guys do a lot of? I know when I had my place, we had mix of moist soil and then flooded crop. We didn't have any timber. Do you guys have all three? Do you have timber, flooded ag, and
we have
moist
it all.
soil?
We're fortunate enough, 2,300 acres, so we have the ability to manipulate a lot of different areas. Most of it, honestly, is moist soil.
Yeah,
which I'm a huge fan of.
Oh yeah.
And then out of those 2,300 acres, we only plant 105 acres of corn.
Wow.
Over 2,300 acres.
And most people would think, oh, it's going to be the majority of it.
Right.
You were around long enough. Probably weren't working there then. I think you were probably still in school. 'Cause I am a little bit older than you. But the flood of '93 really changed. And I don't think a lot of people understand, here we are, what's that, 20 or 30-something years later.
33 years.
Yeah, 33 years later. Before the flood of '93, all along the Mississippi, the best, I remember Hawthorne. I think that's nothing but sloughs and timber. That's an old club from what I understand. But that used to be where it was hunting the sloughs in the woods, because all the flooded pin oaks and everything. We used to hunt Ted Shanks, and that's all we hunted was sloughs, and the flooded timber was duck hunting back then. But when the flood of '93 happened, it killed a lot of them oaks, and it takes a long time for them to come back. So people just changed their methods and able to feed the ducks, and to keep that going, so they would stop. And when they do stop, they do have something to, I guess, nourish them on their migration south. And then, the migration back north is also a big deal too.
Huge.
Yeah.
That's very big in my opinion. But back in '93, I've actually got one guy that still works for us as a guide. That was a guide there in '93.
Really?
He's actually been there for 49, 50 years.
Oh, wow.
As a guide for us. And he would tell, he loves to tell stories.
Yeah.
And he would say, back before 93 flood, this was all timber, this was all maple trees, and we used to hunt wood ducks here, and just after 93, how it changed the whole terrain, not just at Quiver Club, but essentially the whole bottom.
Oh, it did, everything.
He would help out at other clubs, surrounding clubs that are near us, too.
Right.
And, but we're trying to get back to that. Everyone's, we got a couple of new flooded timber holes that we're trying to create.
Oh, man, that's fun.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
It's a process, but it's a fun process.
It just doesn't happen overnight.
It doesn't happen overnight.
The theory of you build it, they will come is true to some sense, but also it takes a while, too.
Yes.
They let them ducks get imprinted on those areas, not receive pressure on a new area. I had a buddy down in Arkansas. They had a really good flooded timber spot. Used to kill, I think, close to 2,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a hot. His dad sold it. Got a fortune for it.
I'm sure.
And then turned around and bought, I think, 3 times the size of that place of unproven ground. It was just a block of timber along the White River. So chances are, okay, it may or may not be good. I would think so. You would think it should be good. And so they actually had a contractor from St. Louis come down, engineered the levee system and everything around it. And I think they were going to be able to flood almost 390 acres of continuous timber.
Wow.
So, but his dad's theory was, we're not going to hunt that for 2 years.
I agree with that.
So, and everybody, his boy was like, can you believe Dad's like? I said, well, it's probably hard for you to understand being the age you are, because I know you want to get at them. But
it's only going to make it better.
It's going to make it better. You got to give them ducks a chance, and not just managing the club, the ag part and everything else, but hunting pressure. And I'm sure that's part of your job, is knowing, hey, we probably need to give this section of the farm a little break, and we're going to hunt. And is that something you do? Do you
every day?
Every day. So
Every day.
You hunt different spots all the time.
That's kind of like during the season. That's my main goal, not goal, but my main job really is to decide, okay, today we're going to hunt here. We're going to rest this section. We could rest 200-300 acres for a couple days.
Wow.
Go hunt this 200-400 acres for 3 or 4 days while they're loading back up into here. And then
sure,
we just flip flop, and then we'll go somewhere to hunt a 60-acre patch. And that's my job, is to kind of monitor and decide what blinds we're going to hunt each day, who's going where, and
sure,
it's fun. I love it.
Oh, I bet.
The challenge of it is what just drives me to, like, it's so much fun. As soon as you think you have them somewhat figured out, you don't.
You don't, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like playing chess in
100%.
a way, and that's what I've always liked about waterfowl hunting, turkey hunting, all of it. It feels like a chess game to me, that you're trying to outsmart something. Like Jerry Kelly's dad, Leor, I'm sure you knew Gory back in the day, used to say, you just got outsmarted by something with a brain the size of a soybean, And so it makes you think a little bit,
Yes,
hey,
it does.
they're a little craftier than you think, but they're just trying to survive.
Absolutely.
Is all they're trying to do. So you got to think about what they need to survive that time of the year, because I'm sure you probably bring water up certain times of the years before fronts, even to expose new food when you're expecting new ducks. Or
yeah, I mean, so another part of my job is I try to plant food to last us great hunting for 60 days. So we know early in the year it's going to be warm.
Sure.
And everyone complains, oh, we start too early. The birds are there.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to want that small grain. They're going to want all that early season food. So that's what we try to flood things strategically, early, shallow water, small grain, and then progress. We watch it daily.
Sure.
We'll check the food. Okay, we'll bump the water up another couple inches.
Right.
And then by the end of the year, everything's full pool. But we try to make it last, which we get through most years with food left over.
You get a big push from up north, and overnight you could like double or triple the amount of ducks because Quiver has a rest lake.
Yes.
A dedicated rest lake. And it's just a big moist soil pool, or just an open pool, or
moist soil?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, we got some poor drainage right now that we're trying to. That's a big project we're working on right now, is to get it to drain. I can't get out there and mow to where.
Right.
You could sit. We have an observation tower. You can sit there and look at it, and you can't really see many ducks out there. You get a clear sunset at night.
Yeah.
When they start pouring out, it's a sight. If you haven't seen it, you wouldn't believe it.
Oh,
so they just sit in this moist soil unit all day long.
Yeah.
And you just hope they come out early.
Come out and give you an opportunity to shoot.
Right.
I know that was the big part of when I had my place was pressure management. After getting over that young and dumb and eagerness of, hey, let's get out there every morning and go after them, we finally figured out, because we were on the edge of a public hunting ground, and they had to stop at 1. And then finally today, it clicked on me one day when I couldn't get out there early. We get out there at like noon, and the place just erupted. I thought, why don't we just let these ducks have this all morning? Because they're banging at them, popping, boom, pow, all morning long over there. And if they're all sitting here, I bet you they'll start coming. And that's it. That day, that's the way it happened. We got out there. Those ducks flew over there. They couldn't get shot at after 1 o'clock. And about 2:30, 3 o'clock, here came 2. Here came 4. Here came 10 or 12. And before long, we had our limit.
You're done before shooting time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that became a big part, because you were talking about back to the 50s, how you went through point systems, and the limits it's changed over time. And back then, we were allowed 4 mallards. We were in the 6 ducks era when I got the place. So if we shot a lot of mallards there. If we got our 4 mallards, that's it. Get your stuff.
Done.
We're leaving.
Yep.
We're not sticking around for 2 teal.
No.
Or if it was late enough and cold enough, we get that black duck came from over there. We get black ducks. So I may give a chance for another half hour if we've been seeing some.
If you've seen them.
But that way, those ducks had a chance to get in there, and I'm sure you guys do it the same way. Let them get in there and feel comfortable, and then they don't come back after dark. Because there was a lot of places I noticed that I've hunted up along 79. If you get there in the morning before shooting time, you just hear them all leaving. And you get out there and maybe a handful of ducks left. And you may shoot a few that morning, nothing great, unless it's like a front day or something. But then even in the evening, if you stayed out there, if that place hunted the dark every day, you may shoot a few, unless it was just a good day. Then you'd get your birds. But more likely than not, it would be not just 10 minutes after, more like 15 and 30 minutes after.
Oh, yeah.
Then they start coming. And I'm sure you've seen that.
Yeah. Like in the morning, what you're saying about the morning hunting. We'll hunt wood ducks on Wednesday mornings at sunrise. Other than that, we do not go out. We go out at 8 o'clock. So we let all the birds come back into the refuge.
Yeah.
And then we go out at 8 o'clock. But really, some of our best hunting is between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Yeah. 10 to 2.
In the moist soil.
Yeah. I could imagine. And most people have done giving up by that time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
It's
so cool to sit and listen, to you. And I know Trevor helps out down at Schnucks. And then you just talk to different guys that hunt these places. And then over time, just through experience, you figured this out. And it's not I would say the so-called textbook duck hunt. You got to outthink them and do things a little different to make it work.
Exactly.
If you got to do it for 60 days.
Yep.
And that is kind of your job, even though it's a very hard one to make Mother Nature do exactly what you want her to do. But they are depending on you. Hey, when I show up, I want this to be good every day for 60 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mother Nature dictates what we do every single day.
Oh, absolutely.
All year round, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
76 degrees and no wind.
Southeast wind at 3 miles an hour.
What are you going to do? And I want to kill some ducks today,
play
Tim.
Golf, boys.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure, do you guys have days where you don't hunt at all? Just
we're closed on Mondays, which is great.
Yeah.
Supposed to be a day off, but it's, Haley, my wife, she's running errands. I'm running errands, restocking for the rest of the week. Sometimes I'll get a chance. I get some invitations to go hunt other places on Mondays.
Oh, cool.
So that's in the afternoons. So that's always fun.
Yeah.
And then we're right back at it Tuesday.
Sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think, and I know I got this one, oh man, it must be nice to have your own place. All you do is show up and hunt. Yeah, that's all you do is just show up and hunt, isn't it?
Hunt.
Yeah.
That's what my members do.
Well, that's a 365-day a year
Yes,
gig.
it is. You do have some downtime. January through early March, there's some downtime.
Yeah.
On the property. There's still a lot, there's paperwork to do. There's budgets to get set for the year, lining up projects, just getting all your ducks in a row.
So to speak.
Yeah. For the upcoming year.
Yeah.
And then come March, like the weather we've had now, things start going. And then, there's some free, I don't want to say free time, but you still work during the summer months. But you pick and choose. You know, X, Y, Z has to be done. But we also like to go to Lake of the Ozarks a lot. So
yeah, you can't leave
the
out
lake,
the fun time.
Yeah,
yeah.
we go to the lake on the weekends, and you know, you still put a good 40 hours a weekend. But
Sure.
it's nonstop though.
Yeah, it's nonstop work to make something as good as what it is. And the place wouldn't have been around since 1871 if there wasn't people like you and people before you that had the same work ethic and mindset.
Right.
This is what we need to have done here.
Yep.
And I'm sure they laid that out to you before you even came on 20-something years ago.
Yes, they did.
And if it's working, why change it?
Exactly.
So, but back to doing all that, I think when I had my place, and you were speaking of that, watching that wrestling, one of the funnest times for me, especially when you put all that work in, wasn't shooting them secondary, but when we could sit there on the levee right before dark and just watch that cyclone build and think, you know what, I did it right.
Yes.
I figured them out. I got what they want, got what they need. I mean, it's got to be a fulfilling feeling.
Oh, very, very. And you know, in relation to that, I love to kill ducks.
Yeah.
As do you.
Sure.
Now, as I've gotten older, the thing I love most is I like watching other people come in with limits of ducks.
Yeah.
And the smile on their face, just
sure.
You know, and to sit there and think, you know, we set the table for them. We did this for them.
Right. Right.
But
did.
watching them fly out at night, though, there's nothing better.
Yeah. It is a cool feeling.
Yeah.
And if you haven't done it, take that 10 minutes. I highly recommend it. Yes. And just sit down or whatever you got to do and just watch them. You don't have to be shooting them or chasing them all the time because I've had people ask me, it sounds like you have a lot of respect and love for these birds. Why do you hunt them? And I said, it's just part of it. It's when I get into something, I just don't want to just go out there and shoot them and okay, I'm done. That's it. I get totally entangled into what makes them tick and why are they this way and what can I do. I mean, as many as you guys may shoot there, how many do you send south and back north healthier?
Oh,
in better shape.
I mean, we barely put a dent in them.
Right.
I mean, so we're feeding and the refuge is huge. So
right.
they can sit there and they're comfortable. They sit there all day long and they'll get there. Usually about October 20th, they start showing up and they just know exactly where it's at. And we keep them there. I mean, sometimes birds will stay there if we don't freeze up. They'll be there until March when they head back.
Yeah.
And they're fat and happy and
go back to the breeding grounds and probably have a higher clutch and a higher success rate in nesting, which just puts more ducks on the table for the next year.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't understand. I hear some criticism from some people about all the rest lakes, this, that, everything else. They're not pushing south anymore because of the rest lakes. I'm sure you could look at those log books, and especially I think during the 60s, 70s, and 80s was one of the coldest time periods in recent history. Because I remember, at least when I was that young, you hit December 1, there was no more duck hunting. It was everything was frozen. Mississippi River was frozen. There were people driving across it by Christmas time, which I would never do. But that's how cold it used to get. It just doesn't get like that anymore.
Doesn't get that cold anymore.
Yeah. So the ducks stay, and I know the hunt we had with some of the boys, I'm sure you know, we killed those 12 bands just north of you guys, not too far. Yeah, that was an amazing day. And it was cool to do it, cool to kill 12. But as you get older, you just start thinking different. And to me, the coolest thing was I watched those Trevor, Victor, Ryan, Harrison. I watched all them young guys grow up. And I knew them since they were 5 years old, walking around at St. Paul, coming out and snotty noses and their book bags and everything else. And but it was cool to be able to, that far of a generation gap, to still be out there at my age, hanging out with them and having fun and doing that kind of thing. That was so cool.
I just watched that again the other day. I don't know. I was flipping through things on YouTube and I watched it, and the look on all their faces when you guys were like, another band, it was just, I mean, that was incredible.
Yeah, it was.
But
priceless.
The excitement level for those boys, I say boys, they're young men now. But.
Yeah, and I'm so guilty of that because to me, and I bet you I'll be on my deathbed and I'll still be calling them kids, and they'll be my age at that time or older actually. And But yeah, I mean, to me, it's
that excitement is just irreplaceable.
Yeah, you can't mimic it. You can't replace it. You can't act it. It was just none of us even expected any of that to happen. And that's what's so cool about waterfowl hunting, turkey hunting, and everything. It's the zero to hero thing like that. I'm sure you guys have had days where it's been slow, and all of a sudden it all starts happening. You know, big migrator day or something. And a lot of people don't believe me, but I've had so many hunts, especially like up at Shanks when I was a kid. 70 degrees was a south wind. Some of the biggest migrator days you ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy?
Yep. We've had great hunts. I mean, you've done this too. 70 degrees south wind, just a banger of a hunt.
Yeah.
And then you have the day, okay, it's going to be a little snow flurries, northwest wind. You know, I'm sending all emails out to the members.
Get out
here, boys. We're going to get into them. And then they don't fly.
Yeah.
And it's just,
isn't it crazy?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but that's part of it.
Yeah. And again, you got outsmarted by the thing with the brain the size of a soybean kind of thing. So, yeah, well, we always go back to that. But back to the Westlake thing and them things not going, I don't think people don't understand if they don't have these things, they're just not going to push out. They'll find somewhere to go.
Right.
They're going to find somewhere to go, and they may become more nocturnal, because I've seen that over time to where it seems like, and you've probably seen it too, the more pressure, I mean, there's more pressure now because there's 60 days of hunting. There used not to be that many. People don't understand it. Mm-hmm. When I was growing up, most of the time it was 30 to 45 days. Yeah. That's all you got. Yeah. So you add those extra days on there, and it's a popular sport right now. So there's a lot of pressure. You have to give those birds somewhere to sit.
No doubt.
Yep.
No doubt. And we've been kind of watching this for the last probably 12 or 13 years. They go nocturnal earlier and earlier and earlier every year.
Really?
Yep. And 2 years ago was the exception. They never went nocturnal until the very last week of the season.
Really?
On quiver.
Huh.
But normally, you know, I can sit there and watch the refuge, and it's like, all right, they're starting to trickle out a little bit. You know, they're heading up towards Chinooks. They're heading east towards Darden. You know, they're moving.
Right.
Other days you sit there, and it's like, they're not moving.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But the nocturnal, it's like, how do you fix it? There is no way to fix it.
There's, I remember.
There is ways. But
there is ways, but I don't know that you could ever put a permanent fix on it. I remember, because I used to hunt up there at Jerry Kelly's for years, and he would go to Saskatchewan with me, and, he'd get mad. So-and-so's shooting late, or they shouldn't shoot till sunset. It's making them, they fly after dark. And they did. I mean, we'd sit there. You could still hear he had a system where you would wait until it was completely dark, and it was just what they did. Everybody drove out with their headlights off, which was scary, right along the quiver. Mm-hmm. And so you did that because he didn't want to bump, because you had to go by one of his biggest duck lakes to get out of there, and he didn't want the headlights and the disturbance bumping them all the ducks out. But they'd be almost an hour after shooting time before we'd leave. Yeah.
Holy
That's
cow.
how late it was.
Wow.
And you could still hear ducks coming in. You'd hear that. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, an hour? You know, they coming from Chinooks, coming from you guys, coming from Darden. Mm-hmm. Where are they coming from? But they were obvious. And it was mainly all ducks coming out of the south, and he was north of the Quiver. So I'm pretty sure they were either coming from you guys or Darden or something to come up there to feed at night. But it was just a theory they had. And for the most part, and I learned a lot from hunting up there on how to manage a place, pressure management, to give them time to rest. And it improved my duck hunting over the years. And so there is something to it. You know, if you hunt public ground, I guess there's really nothing you can do about that, because it is what it is. I know people criticize, why did they shut it down at 1 o'clock? But you look at some of the best public hunting spots we have in Missouri, those 1 o'clock closures, those are some of the best spots there are.
Yep. No
And it's because those ducks are getting that time to relax and everything else. But so anyway, we were up in Saskatchewan the first year, or one of the first years Jerry was with us, and we had a warm spell. Warm spell up there, I mean, it gets up to the 70s and 80s. It'll be freezing in the morning, but by the evening, it's 70, 80 degrees. And those ducks would sit on those potholes and sloughs and just peck around at invertebrates or whatever weeds were growing there. They would not fly.
Just sat there all day.
And you're thinking and we went way up into Saskatchewan, so you're thinking that far north, no pressure yet, and they would come out up there. You can shoot a half hour after. They were still coming out after that, and he was like, the first time he saw that, I said, "See, I told you they do it up here too."
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I'm sure pressure has a lot to do with it, but also I think that's just a survival instinct for them ducks. I mean, if they're getting what they need in that pothole, eating invertebrates and bugs or weeds all day, and okay, we'll hop out for a little bit to go stretch our wings and get some grain for the eat.
But if they don't need to eat, they have everything right there.
Why would you fly? Yeah, that's like, okay, I'm gonna have a big steak potato dinner at home. Hey, you want to go to Longhorn or something, get another steak? No, I'm good. I just had one. Yeah. You're not gonna go.
Yeah.
So they're an interesting bird, and I think that's what keeps us coming back. Is if they were all that easy every day, I think it would lose its luster.
I wouldn't have a job if it was that easy.
Yeah, what would we need Tim for?
Yeah,
we'll find someone else to do that, but or we'll just let the ducks do their thing.
Yeah.
We'll just come in and shoot them. So, but you have one. So let's get back. So who started you hunting? Was it your dad, your grandpa, brothers, uncles?
Oh boy. Well, one of my grandpas, he would take me squirrel hunting.
Yeah.
So I grew up in North County, up in Florissant.
North County boy myself.
I mean, just loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
You got time? I can tell my story how it all happened.
Yeah. Got to hear it.
It's pretty bizarre, really. But graduated college, business communication degree. Right out of college, suit and tie job, selling mortgages every day.
Really?
Yeah. Friend of ours ran Raccoon Ranch for the Hagers.
Yeah.
We became friends with them, and I said, if you ever hear something like this coming up, let me know. This is really intriguing to me. About 6 months later, he called and said, hey, there's an interview for this place called Quiver Club. And he didn't really know much about it. I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
I was green. So Haley and I, my wife Haley, we had 7 interviews together with the board at Quiver.
7 interviews.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, I was green as green can be.
Had you waterfowl hunted much yet?
No.
You got to be kidding me.
No
background at all.
Background
you walked
at all.
right into this. Wow.
So 7 interviews later, we get the job. That was 22 years ago.
Yeah.
So first 5 years or so, I was going to seminars, classes, trying to figure out, what this duck hunting thing's all about.
Yeah.
I had some of my guides that stuck around when there was a transition of us.
Yeah.
2 or 3 of them, 2 of them are still with us, helped out tremendously. I would kick on a pump thinking I was putting water here. The next day, it'd be water over here, and that one would be dry. So, I mean, it was just, it was a cluster.
Man.
So, anyway, went to classes. I had a lot of great people at MDC, U.S. Fish and Wildlife would come out. We'd walk the marshes and, plant identification, water drawdown. There's a lot that goes into the management of it.
Sure.
So the first 5 years or so, that was this constant training and learning. And then, we've been there 22 years since.
Gosh, that is so amazing. I mean, what a story for a guy that has never waterfowl hunted. Yeah. And now you're ate up with it, of course.
No, I mean, it's...
But to get a job, they must have had a lot of faith in you, and they must have said, hey, this guy, we can teach him what he needs to know, but we can tell he's going to put his head to the grindstone, and we're gonna get it done.
Yeah.
And you went from. Did you know anything about farming even back then?
No.
That's amazing.
No.
That is a cool story, man.
Yeah. A few years. It was probably 3 or 4 years after we got hired. The president at the time, ended up being a great friend of mine, still around. I said, why did you hire Haley and I to do this job? He just started cracking up laughing. I said, I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And he said, that's what we loved. You weren't a know-it-all. You weren't going to come in,
That's
this
true.
is how I do it. We want to teach you how we want a Quiver Club ran. And that's,
wow.
I get it.
There's some truth to that. Yeah. And I tie that into any job I've ever had, especially with the fire service.
Yeah.
We would almost rather hire somebody green as can be right out of the academy. Oh, well, this guy is great. He's got experience and this and that and that. But you get that experience. Well, this is the way we did it here.
Right.
Yeah. And Quiver Club's probably like, hey, we want to train somebody up that's going to be Quiver Club.
Right.
That's what we want. And I'm sure How long your predecessor? How long was he there?
Oh, he was there 9 years prior. Yeah.
So they've probably had their fair share of dealing with people, and
Yeah.
I'm sure some of those members have been there a long time, or even been in their family for a long time.
Families for a long time. And once you're in as a member, like you usually die as a member, or you get to the age where you can't hunt anymore. So it's not like there's no really turnover whatsoever.
It's not a revolving door down a quiver.
No.
Yeah.
So once you're in, and great guys, awesome guys.
Yeah. I remember just doing that inspection, just walking in there and being like, wow, man, this is first class everything. Yeah. And, every detail was thought out, and just the way they presented the atmosphere, like, this is a duck club. Yeah. And it was all about it.
Pretty special. Yeah.
And if I remember this is the right place where I did the inspection, the drive's lined with oak trees.
Yes.
That was so cool to me. I remember driving the fire truck through there thinking, wow, man, this is cool. And I remember Ballman in front of me, Blevins, don't be talking about duck hunting when you get here. We're here to do a job. And
unfortunately, we've lost about half of those pin oaks.
Have you really?
From floods and that gall that's in the trees.
Killing
them, and
yeah.
So there's thoughts of replanting all new trees through there.
I noticed things like that, and to me, that was just cool.
Oh yeah.
To me, to grow up hunting the bottoms and understand what the pin oak meant to the mallard duck back in the day, this whole flooded corn thing it didn't matter. And to be honest with you, I think the reason why flooded corn became what it is now is because the pin oaks weren't producing. These guys had to figure out something else to give these ducks.
Right.
And that was the easiest thing to do. Really, in my opinion, because it was most of that was farm ground down there anyway. So you get a permit from the Corps, throw a levee around it, and now you got a flooded ag field somewhere to eat. And we could sit here and talk about that flooded corn debate. I know when we do a show down south. When people hear we're from Missouri, oh, you guys got the hot corn tubs up there and this and that. And I tried to explain to them, and this is what I noticed when I studied the ducks at my place. I would walk that corn, we had the way of flooding that corn up inch by inch if we needed to put water. And my place, I had 16 rows of corn, probably 20 yards of moist soil, 20, 30 yards, 16 rows of corn. That's just what we did all the way across it. And some of those rows where we knew the ducks like to use, we had what I'm sure you have these too. I remember Jerry used to tell me, a low spot. He called it a natural spot, like Browns Lake up there north of, it's been around forever, north of the Quiver. That's what Jerry used to call it before they came there. It was called Browns Lake. I forgot how big it was. But basically, it was just a low spot up there, and it would naturally flood, and the ducks for generations have been coming there. Well, when we had that place over there, we called it the slough. It was just a low depression through the middle of this field. No matter where, them ducks would want to go there every day. Every day, that's where they wanted to be. And so we'd watch it. And what I noticed, them ducks, they go in the corn, but they weren't eating it. Yeah. In my best corn, and for a farmer, it's a nightmare, but I call it woolly corn. When you got everything growing in it, if you got foxtail, pigweed, a farmer's nightmare, like you're a pretty bad farmer if you got that growing in your corn. But that's what the ducks want. Yeah. And they want that weed seed. They want all that stuff. And what I would notice, and when we go down, and I learned this too back in the day, I would go, if we had a bunch of pigweed and just a bunch of like stemmy, just nasty stuff growing that was taller than the corn, I go in there and bush hog all that. And the amount of invertebrates, you could look down there and the water just be moving. And man, did the ducks eat that stuff up.
Love it.
They were in there every day. You'd watch them. I'd watch them ducks come in there, and they'd all hit. They wouldn't land in the middle of the stand of corn, of course, but they'd hit. And some may swim into that corn, but you look out there, all them butts tipping, and you just see water. The coolest thing, and I'm sure you guys see this, when we get out there to hunt at 1 o'clock, you'd look out there, and it looks like water spraying up 5-6 feet high. Yep. I was like, what in the world's going on? Them ducks are just feeding and doing their thing, and that's fat and happy ducks right there.
No doubt.
Fat and happy ducks. But the corn to me, and this is just my theory, it was a place for them to loaf. Is that, what's your take on it?
I agree. like I said, 2,300 acres, and we put 100 acres of corn in.
Yeah, that's not even 10%. That's like not even 5%, basically. No. Yeah.
And we do the same thing. We'll put rows of corn in, then we have a big strip of moist soil. Mm-hmm. Another row of corn, huge strip of moist soil. And I'll go in there, I'll mow all the moist soil down, all of it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And just that thatch layer that's sitting there. Yeah. Those invertebrates that are in there, it's unbelievable. And that's where those ducks land. Like you said, they land there, and some go into the corn. But, and even, if they haven't gone back to the refuge in the morning, when I do drive by, they're all getting out of the moist soil.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, there were some in the corn.
Right.
But majority of them are in the moist soil.
And I think what a lot of guys don't understand, that corn, like you said, offers them protection from the hawks, the eagles, everything else. They can get out of the weather, get out of the wind, whatever. And I don't think it's so much as it's keeping them there. The weather's keeping them here.
No doubt.
That is what it is.
Weather is the biggest factor.
I've been doing this a long time, and this is the warmest I can remember. I mean, back in the 70s and 80s, like I said, and back then, and here it tells a story. When I hunted Ted Shanks back in the day, back before the flood of 93, I mean, I was up there from the time I was 10, 11, 12 years old and hunted all. And once I got a buddy that was old enough, like a friend of mine, his older brother turned 16 four years before we did. And we were up there duck hunting as much as we could. I used to get my punishment for skipping school was getting my gun taken away. But that's what we did. And the corn that they had, the only corn that you could find, and they had a bit of it, a fair share of it, it was all in the refuge.
Interesting.
Yeah. And we used to, back then, we were like, well, I guess they like it. But Shanks back in the day, down in those timber holes.
Lights out.
Oh, my God. That's where what you would hear more than anything, and we'd shoot a lot of ducks, they would get off the refuge where the flood of corn was, fly over to Illinois to dry feed, and if the fields were muddy, about 10 o'clock, we called 10 o'clock mallard time up there then, because you would shoot a few ducks, some wood ducks, and maybe a couple mallards straggling around in the woods, but 10 o'clock on, you'd start having these, if it was muddy, if it had been raining the previous day or whatever, them ducks would come back. Look, we call them drumsticks.
Oh, their feet hanging?
Yeah, because they'd have all that mud from sitting over there in the bottoms in Illinois dry feeding, and if that flood of corn meant that much to them, why were they going over there dry feeding? And then they were coming back to the woods to loaf the rest of the day. Because back then, you had these big giant sloughs, and MDC would build these blinds. And it always used to bother me because it was flooded. So the sloughs we used to have 10, 12-foot lines on the decoys because that's how deep some of them sloughs were. You couldn't weight them. But behind you was shallow, flooded timber. But them ducks would hit them sloughs, and then they'd swim.
And swim in.
And they'd sit up in those trees and all day long. And so that always said to me, if that meant that much to them,
why are they leaving?
Why are they leaving it?
Right.
And now Shanks is totally different. That timber is not what it used to be. It just doesn't produce the acorns that it used to. And now the young people that go up there and hunt it, it's all flooded, either corn or flooded moist soil. And mainly when you talk to some of the guys that manage MDC, yeah, the corn's to help keep the ducks there, for shelter and this, but it's to give a hunter, where are you going to hide a public land guy in the middle of moist soil unless they're fortunate enough to own a layout boat or something like that? The average person is not going to be able to go out there and kill a duck. But if they have the corn to put a stool on to sit in and everything else, now they have a way to shoot them.
Yep.
And my thing is, we've been beating each other up in this hunting community for so long. We need to stop.
I agree.
Because there's enough outside, I don't know what you would call it, interest or whatever, to trying to take as much. The whole thing up in Saskatchewan, I don't know if you heard about that. I've been hunting up there for 30 years. And they went to non-residents, can only buy a 3-day or 2 5-day licenses. And we know a lot of people that have bought homes up there. Yeah, they buy a house, and as they get older, my age or whatever, they'll retire. And these guys, some of them they hunt hard still. But I knew a lot of older guys that would go up there, and we hunt the good days. Other than that, We go help the farmer's combine. We go visit with friends that we've made because we've been going up there 30, 40 years. And they would stay for 2 months. But now you're going to be able to hunt 10 of those maximum, and that's it.
Oh.
So it saddens me because a hungry young guy like I was when I was in my mid-20s, when I made my first trip up there, to the total disagreement of, well, my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, and my parents. That's just way too far to go. You don't.
To kill a duck.
Back then, people, there was no Onyx, there was no internet. I mean, back then there was no way to call home unless you went to a payphone up there, or the farmer that we stayed with, we would actually pay them to use their phone for a long distance call. And so none of that stuff existed.
You're knocking on doors.
Yes. Yeah. And back then, unfortunately, we saw kind of the end of the small farmer up there, because back then, the rail used to go to every little small town and pick up the grain. So, I mean, you could put your grain in a buggy, pull it behind your tractor, just go to the local elevator right there in a town where 2 or 3 people may live. And that's it. You know, there a couple people lived in town. Everybody else had small farms dotted everywhere. That's the way life was up there. Simple, but you could not go and ask for permission without sitting in the house for 30 minutes to an hour having coffee, and they just want to hear what life was like down in the rat race where we lived. And to me, it felt like I was stepping back in time 20 years, and it was refreshing coming from what we lived in here. But I mean, they were still pulling combines with tractors. The ones, if you ever seen the old ones, that's what they were doing back then.
Really? Mm-hmm. And now look what they're doing up
there. Oh, if you had a straight head combine back then, boy, that
You're
guy's
top
rich.
Dog. Oh, yeah.
He's super rich. And I'm thinking, I've never seen anything like these. What do you mean you're really fortunate to have a straight head? But now it's all big farms, corporate farms. Things have changed.
Thousands and thousands of acres.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we watched, because it was really neat, because, you know, I was into hockey before my son became a hockey player, and it was neat because you go to these little towns and they'd all have these outdoor rinks, and I just thought it was neat. Oh, yeah, this little town to play this little town, and I don't know how they had enough players for more than one line, but I guess they did. But and I told my friends, I know we were sitting at NWTF talking, and Tom Wade was sitting there, and I'm sure you overheard some of the conversation, and that's why I said, man, feel blessed that we got to see the Wild West while it still was. Yeah. Because unfortunately, these young guys are not going to. It's gone. What we saw back then, it doesn't exist, and it's a shame.
And I hear that's going on in North Dakota now as well.
Are they going to limit licenses up there?
I don't know
too?
about limiting licenses, but you know, the hunting pressure.
Well, so when the shutdown happened, they wouldn't let people north of the border. So what's a waterfowler going to do? Well, I'm going to go as far north as I can. So they started just crowding North Dakota. And then that got overcrowded and out of hand. And I know some young boys from town. Well, they're men now, but I still call them young boys. But they would go up there and hunt, and they said they would knock on doors, and they could see the people having supper. You know, they'd look out the window and look at them, and they wouldn't even come to the door and answer it.
Wow.
And going from where we stood, if you're going to get permission, you're going to come in and you're going to sit down. You're going to have coffee, a beer, whatever. And I don't know how many times we were picking up decoys. Here come a truck, half ton, come flying out into the field. You guys have a good hunt? Yeah, great. Well, we'll take some of them birds if you don't mind sharing them. Well, absolutely. And the wife's cooking lunch. So you guys, we got lunch on the table. So as soon as you're done here, and it wasn't like you never said no.
No.
And so we go back, and we were friends with these people for years. And the sad thing was, we saw some of them lose their farms because of, you want to call it progress. I mean, that's what some people call it, but that's what happened.
Wow.
And so that goes back to, we need to quit beating each other up on all this other stuff, because if you're old enough, like I am, and you are to see what has happened over the years, it's slowly just getting picked away. You can't go out in Kansas and turkey hunt. You can't go in Nebraska and turkey hunt unless you get licenses now, or draw form or whatever. And I get that. I mean, you don't want a lot of people coming out there, and you still, if you live in that state, you should be able to go out, You pay the taxes there and everything else, even though we may go out there and spend, our licenses are 3 or 4 times what a normal license is. But still, yet, you live there, you ought to be able to go out and have a nice, unpressured hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And I get all that. But what's going on up there, it's said for one reason or another, but I'm not buying that at all. It's a slow pick away of this really right and heritage that we all have.
Right. Which is terrible to see happening.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it saddens me because these kids I call boys, what's going to happen what happens when your son,
Right.
when your grandkids are born? Where, hopefully there's still public lands around. I know one of my buddies that works at one of the biggest public grounds in Missouri says he has to fight every year to keep it a water. It's in the bottoms. It's in a floodplain. They want to turn it into songbird meadows and songbird butterfly meadows and their theory is they think it'll get more. So from what I understand, a rough part of it is they're allocated dollars by usage days. So say like Quiver Club, okay, you guys are going to function. Your budget's set by how many guys you got to come out and hunt every day for 60 days. Okay, that's how much money we're going to pour into your area to make things happen. And so even though some of these places, this spot's been around for years and it's in a floodplain, it's going to flood all the time. But half the time they can't get any corn planted in there. It's all moist soil because it floods all the time.
It's in a floodplain. Simple.
And so he has to fight to keep it what it is. Isn't that crazy?
That's.
And so when those places disappear, where do you go?
Where do you go? If you don't own your own property, which, as you know, owning your own duck property is outrageously expensive.
Oh, it's crazy expensive.
And where does everyone go?
I don't know. I don't know the answer for a lot of these questions, but amongst ourselves, we need to quit tearing it up.
I agree.
And tearing each other up and get back to just enjoying what it is. And I'm telling you, what you got now, enjoy it. Because I've seen a lot of stuff come and go in my time. Some of our goose hunt spots, and I get it. They're in the middle of town, and one day this is going to be a Walmart or something, and we're going to lose it. And so that's happened before. But the opportunity just to go to some of these, and I enjoy. We're leaving for Alabama on Sunday to go turkey hunting for a few days, just through some really nice people we met, doing the Hurricane Marsh stuff. And there's people all over the country invite us to come out and do stuff. And we try to go when we can. We get so busy. Like Sam and Macy are in South Carolina right now. They were just in Louisiana next week, which I tell you, don't ever go turkey hunting with her.
Why is that?
She has no quit. I mean, I thought I was hard.
Keep up. Yeah.
I can't. I do owe a turkey to her last year. We were down at Sam's cousin's place down in Springfield. Beautiful piece of property. Had a lot of turkeys on it. That girl walked me 8.5 miles, which isn't that far. But when it's like this and like that.
That's pretty far flat.
Yeah. Well, when the weather's right, I try to walk my dogs 4 miles a day. Keeps them in shape and kind of, I do it so I can keep doing this turkey thing and try to stay young. But the next morning we get up and we got in some turkeys way back in these hills, got close, so close several times that first day. And I said, where you want to go today, babe? And she goes, and there was one right by the house. And I said, I know there's one by the house. We heard him. I said, we can get him. And she's like, no, Dad, I want to go back there where all the turkeys. I mean, she goes. And so I was like, okay. And I said, I can't. I could barely walk. And she looked at me and she's like, yeah, why don't you just stay here and try to hunt this one? And I walked 100 yards from the house. 15 minutes after shooting time, I had a strutter right in front of me.
Boom.
Yeah. So I owe that one to her. That is all Macy's turkey right there. But, yeah, she just no stopping her. No stop.
I believe that.
Yeah. I mean, you know her. You met her. I mean, and she just go, and just never stops.
Yeah.
So, but we do got we did draw our tags in Nebraska, so we're going to all revisit. We didn't get to go last year, and I'm sure she told you the mountain lion story from up there.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're just grateful we get to go back there. And I get why they did. They went to 10,000 tag draw for non-residents because their turkey population was in bad shape. When you talk to the farmers and ranchers out there where we hunt, and you go back 15 years, the amount of turkeys they had just like tenfold what they have now.
Really?
Yep. Oh, they said they were just everywhere.
Did they have limited numbers back then?
No.
Oh, it was just any out-of-state people?
I get when they do something. I mean, migratory birds, and I've told this a story on my podcast before. I don't know if I've ever told you that. First year in Saskatchewan, we asked this guy for permission. He had a bunch of snow geese on it, and they never saw Americans up where we went. And so he was just intrigued, and he's like, well, where are you from? He said, you definitely ain't from up here. It's like, we're from Missouri. And he goes, yeah? Well, yeah, you can have permission, but I just got to ask you one question. I was like, what's that? And he goes, you know these things migrate south, don't you? And I felt about as dumb as you could be, and I was like, oh, yes, sir, they do. And he goes, don't they come through Missouri? I thought there was a spot in Missouri, like millions of them go. And I was like, yes, sir, they do. And he was like, okay, I mean, if you want to drive that far, more power to you. You must really need it or something. And I was like, we just enjoy it. But
that's pretty good.
Yeah. But a migratory bird, and you guys see it at Quiver Club, your populations change probably on a daily or weekly basis. Yeah. Whereas a turkey, their range is not that far. Mm-hmm. So if their population's in trouble, you either A, got to limit the amount being harvested, and B, limit the amount of days that you can harvest them, and also limit the amount of hunters that are able to harvest them. And if you have a huge influx, because I know back when Wade was playing baseball, I really wasn't a turkey hunter back then, mainly because, like you did the last couple of days, you enjoyed more going out and watching your son, because when those days are gone, they're gone. And then you're waiting for grandkids to come along, and hopefully you can still walk around and enjoy them getting to play sports. But I miss that dearly. But so I was too busy chasing Wade and Macy around with sports in the spring to even mess with turkey hunting. They went to college, and I was getting on Amy's nerves, so I had to find something else to do. So that's why I started turkey hunting and got into it. But I get why they have to limit those numbers. And
no doubt.
But those back when Wade was playing ball, a bunch of the dads on the team, they get 10 guys to go out to Kansas and the Limitless 3. They kill 30 gobblers out there in like 3 days. And that's so that adds up, because how many other guys were doing that?
Yeah.
So that adds up. And so I get why they have to do things like that. But with the waterfowl thing, with, the migrating and everything else, your population is going to fluctuate so much. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. It scares me when I see this kind of stuff happen in the duck hunting world, in goose hunting world, that one day these young boys aren't going to have the opportunities you and I had.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's, with MDC, hearing that it may get turned into a butterfly park or what.
Yeah, a songbird butterfly meadow.
Wow. And didn't one of the places this year, they couldn't run their wells because they were all broke?
So
I think that was part of the shutdown.
Yeah, so that place, I know exactly which one you're talking about. It's going to open this year.
Oh, good.
Believe it or not, because I got a bunch of buddies that have a camp out there, and they go draw out at those public areas, and when all of them are open, there's actually plenty of room for everybody. But when you get one that shuts down, you have a dry year where a lot of those places over there don't have water that's natural. It tightens things up, and that's the way it's been. But now there's good water. They've had some timely rains out there, and supposedly that spot's going to be opened back up again. Good. But yeah, it's been shut down for years. So it takes away from all that. And then we also have living along the river. You've probably heard, and I grew up doing it. We would draw blinds out on the river, and now that's gone.
Like West Alton out in that area.
Yeah. Oh man, I've had some banger hunts out of West Alton, but even up Dresser Island. I'm trying to think, Clarksville. We used to hunt all them places. A lot of times, if Shanks was that crowded and you didn't draw out, well, you just go hop in a river blind, because the rules were, I guess, whoever was on. So the blind had a blind card, and there were 4 names on that card. As long as one of those guys was there by, I think, 6 o'clock or something, they retained the blind, which they drew that blind, built it respectfully. Yeah, they should. But if they weren't there, it was first come, first serve. So there would always be blinds open. So we would go out there, and some days you wouldn't kill a bunch, but you'd usually kill a couple, enough to make it worth getting out of bed. And some days we had some of the best hunts we ever had out there. But they quit doing that and claiming
Yeah, what's the reasoning behind that?
Manpower to inspect them.
I mean, they're not building them.
No,
They're
because you had to have the blind built, and then I think brushed. I mean, it's been a long time since I drew a blind. I think you had to have it brushed by September 15th or something like that. Because I remember just doing it back in the day when it was real hot. But I was told they quit doing it because of manpower, which I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yep.
I mean, we all know everybody, because we go to other states, everybody's just in awe. And I'm not trying to put a slam on MDC at all, but they are the best funded conservation department in our whole country.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand. And maybe it's the way we're going, and I'm from old school, and I'm sure you're the same way. I can't stand going to some place, and there's 5 people standing there doing nothing. You got one guy in a line of 20 people. When the world I grew up working in, you got off your butt. I don't care what your position. When you came over and you helped, or you cleaned this up, or you did whatever you had to do to make it work.
Yep.
And I'm not saying they're doing that, but I'm just, man, when you would go to Shanks back in the day, and I don't know, maybe cost of living, I don't know, but their budget has to be there. But when you go to Shanks back in the day, they used to rent motors, they used to rent decoys, you get everything. You didn't have to have anything, and you could go duck hunting. You had to have shells and a shotgun and whatever clothes you needed, but you could rent.
And now they don't do any of that?
They don't do any of that stuff. Some places, they still provide boats at certain areas, aluminum boats. I know
you got to bring the motor. You got to bring, obviously,
you got to bring all your stuff. But back in the day, and I remember when I was younger, back when we used to get all the geese, you could go down to Duck Creek, which a lot of people are like, there were no geese at Duck Creek. There'd be 50,000 down there. We used to kill a bunch of geese down at Duck Creek. You could rent goose decoys for $1 a dozen. They were G&H shells or some homemade shells the MDC guys made themselves over the summer. I don't know, silhouettes or whatever they had.
But it probably worked.
Yeah, you killed geese over them. But you could go down there, and I don't know how many guys they had working there, and they would sit there and tell you this, tell you that, and help you out and everything. And now you go to some of these places, there's a couple guys working, and that's all you see. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But if we're going to keep this thing rolling, something's got to change.
Something's got to change.
It really does. And not to say that when you get your own place, I mean, you're kind of on the other side of things. It's it's a business where you're at. And when I had my own place, I kind of lost sight of hitting the public stuff all the time. There were still a couple places I always went to just because I felt like I had to, because I grew up hunting there, and my heart was just there. But even those, you start seeing just little bits and little bits. Blinds disappeared, or blinds went away totally, and it's all just a walk-in area now, and because it's cheaper to manage.
Yeah, that's unfortunate,
isn't it?
That is.
So,
like you said, with the future kids and generations, where are they going to go?
And that's what I go back to. If we keep fighting amongst ourselves about what this guy's doing, that guy's doing, eventually the public opportunity is going to be gone. It's not going to be there. And that's where a lot of us cut our teeth on. Although you not knowing anything about duck hunting, now you're managing the like I said, probably one of the coolest spots. So that is a story. I've
got
so
guys
cool.
that tell me I'm a country club duck hunter, and it's like, hey, I get it, but that's my job, and I kind of stay within my 2,300 acres, and public hunting, I've done it one time.
Yeah,
2 years ago, one of my friends drew in out at Grand Pass. Tim, you got to go. It was on a Monday.
Yeah,
I'm like, I want to get up at midnight, to go drive 3 hours, to go wait in line with a bunch of smelly men in the morning, and I'm like, man, I'm all right. I'm going. I'm in. Get up there, get up at midnight. I'm fired up. Like, this is gonna be awesome. I can't wait. Can't wait.
Yeah.
It's colder than hell. We draw into a good blind, I guess. Like I said, never done this before. So we get in a boat. We pack all our stuff. We got jet sleds. We're busting through ice to get there. Everything's frozen. We sit there, load our guns. Sunrise. Never pull the trigger till 11:30.
Wow. Yeah, that's typical of that place. It can be like that.
And my buddies, all my great friends are like, Tim, I'm sorry, it's never like this. It's not. I'm like, you drive me all the way to hell out here to stand in corn for 5 hours,
Yeah.
But then we got into them. That last, like you said, that last half hour, 45 minutes, we got into them, and it was awesome. So, yes, am I a little spoiled being at Quiver Club? No doubt.
It's what you're presented with, though. You weren't even a waterfowler till you started working there, and now you're one of the. I mean, I sit and talk to you at NW. You've seen a few things. You know how to do it. You know how to get it done. And a duck's the same no matter where you go. That they're just trying to do their thing, and you're just there to try to outsmart them. But let's just face it. Some people in life are fortunate enough to have places like that to go.
Right.
And when I grew up poor, so I was grateful as can be that there was these areas for me to go to. And what I'm trying to get a point across is that we need to make sure they're still there. And I'm seeing them starting to slide away. And I don't know what the answer is to that, but the fighting and everybody pointing fingers, it's your fault. No, it's not.
Right.
It's not. And if I'm trying to say anything to anybody, I don't know which camera I'm looking into, quit fighting amongst everybody. Just try to get along. We're all one big community here. And whatever we got to do, we need to do to make sure it doesn't matter if you've hunted private your whole life, public your whole life, doesn't make you any better than anybody else. It's just what God has presented you to do, and you do the best with what you have. So, and I people try to drag me into the whole flooded corn debate. I'm not going to get into that. I think we talked a bit about why and what we've seen, and I think the biggest thing is it's Mother Nature, it's weather, and that's just it. So,
pressure and weather.
Yeah, that's it. And it's just not. It's just it doesn't get as cold as it used to. I mean, that's one of the biggest things. And yeah, ducks have changed a little bit. Farming practices have changed. I mean, it's so dramatic. I mean, if you can hear in the background, my dogs are out there making noise right now. But some UPS guy must be knocking at the door. but the things that have changed over the years, you got to change with them. And if you don't, then you can sit around and fuss about it, or you can just go try to figure it out, chase them, do whatever you got to do. And like I said, I never thought I would lose the opportunity to go to Canada and do what I really love to do.
That's a shame.
Yeah, but it's here.
That's just what's happening.
And then so grateful that you still can just go up there and get a license, because in Manitoba, you actually, as a non-resident, you got to get in a draw to even get a license. And up at Game Fair, we got friends up there from Minnesota where he's not quite my age, but his dad had been going up there and hunting with the same family in Manitoba for years. And then his son started a guide service, and then his boys were going up and helping him. And now his boys are going up and helping him. But then they went to they didn't even draw tags this year, so they couldn't even go. The people they've been visiting generationally for over 60 years.
Now they can't hunt.
Now they can't go up there and hunt. If they get a tag next year, then they can go up and hunt with them. So, I don't know.
Something's got to change.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. It really does. Or this whole thing, it's going to end up like when you see other countries like in England or Scotland or whatever, only the super rich people have a way to hunt. And I've seen this out in Maryland when we go out there to the Easton Waterfowl Festival. Goose hunting is my passion. I'm sure everybody knows. Their season, unfortunately, last year was one goose in 30 days, which the Eastern Shore used to be the goose capital of the world years ago, just like Southern Illinois. And Sumner, Missouri, they got Maxie the goose up there in Sumner. But migrations have changed. The birds weren't getting far south, but this year they had the weather. They had more geese than they could shake a stick at. He said, I think they said they're going to bump the season to 40 days and 2 geese. But when I talked to him about goose hunting, my buddy out there, he's like, I don't really mess with it, because you either have to have ground that's owned by your family, that's been there for a long time, because the rest of it, you can't even, dollar-wise, you can't even compete. But there's so many people out there, and the best stuff is just gobbled up. It's no different than deer hunting in Missouri.
Right.
It's amazing when we do shows down south. Guys in Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, wherever, they'll say, oh, yeah, I got a deer lease in Missouri. And after a while, I'm like, there can't be anywhere left to deer hunt because everybody down south that I know says they got a deer lease in Missouri. So, but I don't deer hunt myself, so it doesn't, resonate with me or really doesn't affect me all that much. But um, I have asked permission to hunt people's farms before, and the first thing they'll tell me, no deer hunting here. We deer hunt or we lease it. Well, I just want to hunt geese. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Or I want to go turkey hunting. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Just no deer hunting. Yeah. So but you see that, and unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but that's just the way of the world. The more people that are on this planet, the less. And you always hear the saying, "Buy land when you can," because they're not making any more of it.
It's not getting any cheaper.
No, my gosh, what's ground like? Last I heard, it was like over $20,000 an acre down in the bottoms now.
Yeah, we just bought a new tract of ground right next to 79.
Okay,
it's 118 acres. And we paid a lot of money for it.
Yeah,
I don't really want
to
disclose what we paid for it, but
yeah,
it was pricey. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I think it might have been north of your number you stated.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But years ago, prime ground was like $12,000 an acre for a established waterfowl.
Yeah, yeah.
And now I think it's 20 plus.
Believe it or not, Tim, I remember back when you could get it for $4 and $5.
Right.
Yeah. I remember Jerry buying some for that, and back then I thought, oh my gosh, who could ever afford that?
Right.
And now look at it.
Yeah.
So.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But people are paying it.
Yeah.
I mean, a duck club. There are a couple of duck clubs that have sold recently, and they barely hit the market, and they're going above what they're asking.
Yeah. And a lot of them don't.
Normally, it's even sold before it doesn't even hit the market.
Yeah. I know of a piece Jerry got back in the day, and that's what he told me. He said, "I'll get this before it's even known it can go," and you had to.
You had to,
because if you didn't, once it got to market, it never stopped.
How high is it going to go?
I don't know. The limit, I guess there's really no limit on it as long as people keep paying it. You get enough people together that you have the money. I know some friends of mine were trying to buy Whistling Wings, Booter's place down there last year, and they tried, but couldn't get it. And I, fortunate enough, I got to hunt there. That was a neat place. You ever been there to hunt?
I've never hunted there, no.
And the grounds themselves was really neat, but I enjoyed the clubhouse. And Mo had passed a while back. I had known a Mo, but never really met the guy. But just as you're growing up, driving by there to go, there used to be a public place by Hager's, and sometimes we get done shooting ducks there or whatever. If we went in the morning, we drive around just at all the duck clubs and all the ducks flying around and everything. But yeah, they had a picture of Mo and his dog there, and had his dog's collar. I think his lanyard with bands and everything just hanging in the clubhouse. It was pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Place smelled like old cigars and pipes and stuff that for years, I don't know how many.
If those walls could talk, probably.
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine. But yeah, a lot of neat history there too, I'm sure. So, but that's what's neat about the duck clubs, in my opinion, is just the history that's behind them, the stories that can be told there. Is there one that sticks out to you? May it be a hunt or just something about it that just...
Since I've been at Quiver?
Yeah. How about one before you came that's like just a historic, like this is the story everybody at Quiver talks about that's been around forever, and then one of your experience?
Oh, man. Before, I don't really have one. I don't. Off the top of my head, I don't have one. An awesome story since I've been there, hunting with Red Shandies.
Yeah.
I mean, just a legend.
Yeah.
And he would show up all the time. He'd be up at Schnucks with Trev, and he just kind of roamed around the bottoms. But he'd come out with two of our members, but just to be around him and hunt with him, and then go into the bar afterwards, maybe have a cocktail, and he's sitting in the presence of Red Shandies, and he's just telling stories all day long. I mean, that's something you can't ever forget.
Yeah, I've heard I've met him a couple times in life. Really, believe it or not, remember when Dunn's used to be?
Mm-hmm.
I met him there one day. Nice. Didn't know me from anything. Hi, Mr. Shaney's pleasure to meet you. You know, this and that. Oh, hey, young man. And
stop and talk to you.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. Just a great guy.
Yeah.
Great
and
guy.
He just must have had an aura.
Oh, sorry.
I guess the Apple Watch wanted to chime in on the conversation. But, yeah, he must have had an aura about him that when he was somewhere, I mean, just captivating.
Yes.
Because everybody from not just you, but everybody I've talked to is like, man, it would just be cool to sit in the clubhouse with Red and just listen to him talk about stuff.
Yep.
And I know Trev's duck hunted with him before, and I think Trevor still has, in respect, how much respect he has for that man. He still has the number 2.
Number 2 on his truck.
On his truck. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So that, that's just an experience I'll never forget.
Yeah. That's cool.
Other than the countless ones with my family. That's one that sticks out.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, you guys turkey hunters down there too?
I have one member that does.
Yeah.
My boys hunt everything.
Yeah.
So
they do.
So yeah, the boys will hunt, and I'll go after them. There's just not a lot of turkeys down there.
Oh yeah.
Here the other thing we always say, when you start to see a higher population of turkeys down the bottoms,
yeah,
you better get the sandbags ready.
Oh really?
It's like as soon as we get a good turkey population, then here comes a flood, wipes them all out.
Oh, okay.
But knock on wood again, last fall we had turkeys everywhere.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen them yet this year.
It's so strange because I'm just so blessed. Some of the farmers I know let me do what I do, and I think on one farm alone I got up like 9 cameras. It's just I just enjoy seeing them, even if I don't shoot one. And part of it is too, he's got some boys that are up and coming, and they're ate up with turkey hunting, deer hunting, goose hunting, everything now. And I just want to hope that I'm helping them have a good. I know their dad knows where all the turkeys are and everything, but man, it's cool for me to get the pictures and I'll send them to them, and I just enjoy seeing it. Like, hey, hopefully, the boys will be able to get one this year. And I mean, for 9 and I think they're 11. Boy, there's some turkey killers already.
Oh yeah.
But when I first put the cameras up, nothing. Then like yesterday, it's like the woods came alive, and I've seen that in the past. If I can get them up early enough in March. I don't know if it's because they're still grouped up, and then as it warms up, the toms start getting more aggressive or what it is, and they start splitting up more. But you'll go from seeing nothing to all of a sudden they're everywhere.
Yep.
So
we won't say they're everywhere. We'll start seeing
in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. More so than you used to see them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's around the corner. Like I said, I'm gonna leave Sunday. Actually, Trevor's going with me.
We're
around that. Yeah. So
actually, I talked to him. I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to be out of town here for a while." So that's where he's going.
Yeah. I don't, and maybe I shouldn't say where Trevor's going because maybe he had some things he had to do because I know he does a lot of work for a lot of people. He's actually, I had load of wood delivered the other day, and I was like, I don't know how because he's like, I'm going to get it built. I'm going to build a new 40 for you, this and that. I was like, how do you have time? He is so busy.
He's nonstop.
Yeah, nonstop. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to see if I can get Dad up there. And I thought, well, Tim, the carpenter that he is, they'll have it done like that. So, and then Ted texted me last night and, hey, where'd you get that container from? So I guess they're getting one up there at their place for Harrison. So,
boy, that'd be trouble.
You think?
Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yes, it would be.
With that spread that he has.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's I've hunted up there with him quite a bit, and it's just a neat place.
Oh yeah.
And
when they come in there, they're coming in there.
They're not if you see them,
they're coming in.
They're coming.
Yeah.
And so I think they're going to have a lot of fun. I know they've had some good times up there. Ted hunted with me the last day of season. He got to come up and see the 40, the big pit. We didn't shoot nothing. The geese weren't really using there the last part of the year. But then where we're putting this new 40, we have a 20-footer in there now, which, gosh, we've shot, I'll just put a lot of geese out of that over the years, okay? But it's time to go bigger. We're all getting older, and
you got to be comfortable.
I'm telling you, when we built that thing, it was the cat's meow for years, and now you're getting older, and all my buddies are getting older. Like, okay, we got to make it to where us geriatrics can get around. So, but yeah, and I think I think he liked goose hunting, but I think he sees, the interest that Harrison and all his buddies have. And he was actually supposed to come out with us on that 12 band bird day, and it didn't happen. But I think
Ted's a busy man.
Yes, I don't know how he's another guy. I don't know how he does all that he does.
I don't know how he does it.
And
it's a mystery to everyone.
Ted's the mystery man.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden I'll look up, hey, there's Ted.
Yeah.
I thought you were like out of the country, or I was here, I was there, and I'm here now, and he's an awesome friend. The whole family they're just great people, and that's one thing I enjoy about Wild Turkey Federation. We get to visit with you and your family, all the people. What are they, St. Paulians or whatever we want to call them, but just such a great
group of folks.
It is, and such a good time up there every year. So, don't want to rush into it, but I'm already looking forward to next year. They may be adding Sunday on next year. Or wait a minute, not this 27.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm up there to make money.
Well,
another day would probably be. They were at 94,000 this year. I don't know if you heard that figure yet.
Wow.
Last year was 82. So
I believe it. It was
it was unreal. And I've talked to him. So I'm sure, just coming from the fire side, I don't know what the fire marshal of Nashville thinks, but at some point you can only allow so many people in a structure before those guys start getting a little nitpicky. You know what I mean? And it's all great people down there. I mean, it's.
But man,
it's crowded.
It is crowded. I mean, it's where you can't walk crowded.
I did a podcast down there with a good friend of ours, Lance Carpenter. He's a recording artist from down there, and he gave the best analogy I ever heard. He goes, "Yeah, it's like a bunch of worms trying to slither through each other and all that kind of." It's like, yeah, I guess. I mean, it's tight.
Yeah.
So Sunday it would maybe spread it out a little bit, maybe give the folks that. I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, when I was younger, there's no way I could have made Thursday, Friday. I was too busy working, couldn't get off work because I was going to save my days for family time or hunting more than likely. Amy will probably, he just wanted to go hunting. So, but I don't know. It's really nice.
Could spread that out. That's because everyone's trying to get there Friday night, and I mean, Friday you guys close at what, 6?
Every night closes. It's 9 to 6 basically every day.
So yeah, Saturday they're just crowding in there. Dude.
Yes, Saturdays the Fridays are what the Saturdays used to be like 2 years ago, and even then you used to be like, how can you put any more people in here? And now they do, and that's just a testament to how well they are running that show and the support that turkey hunters have for the wild turkey.
Yep. And
I mean, it's just a neat time and the most welcoming crowd of people I've ever been around.
Yes.
And you never know. You'll walk. There's Will Primos walking. There's Cuz Strickland. I mean, they're just sitting there.
There's Jon Blevins.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it that far, but all these people that you see on TV and everything, they're all just people
normal
like you
guys.
and I.
Yes.
And they'll just sit there and talk and this and that, and it's just a neat time. I think everybody's got that like cabin fever and they're coming off of it, and it's just a good time and to get together, and then everybody starts getting amped up for turkey season, and I don't know what to think. I think Sunday's going to be good, but I will say that it's awful nice to be back home Sunday afternoon and getting ready for the rest of the week,
right?
Because we start getting busy that time of the year, so that extra day means a lot to us here. And I know the crowd that we have from our area. Everybody hits it pretty hard for 3 days, and by the time Sunday morning hits,
we're ready to go home.
It's time to get home to get ready for the next week. So we'll probably lose a few people that are going to go back home, but I don't know. They got to accommodate. In what people got to understand is, when I was talking to them, they're a membership organization. That's what makes NWTF thrive. That's what makes NWTF able to do what they do for the wild turkey. So the more members they got, the more money they have for research, funding for research, and for doing whatever they have to do to ensure. I mean, a lot of people don't understand there weren't wild turkeys in a lot of the states that there are now.
No.
I know there's been a lot of turkeys from Missouri that have been transplanted in other places. And it's still cool that you may have to draw in some states, but there's a lot of states you want to go, just go buy a license and go.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's cool you can do that. And you could 49 states have turkeys. Hawaii has turkeys. I don't know if you knew that.
I did know that.
And so I think Alaska's only one.
I was running through my head. It's got to be Alaska.
Yeah, I think so. Give them long enough, they'll figure out a way to get a turkey up there. But because I know different places in Canada. Actually, Ontario, I've heard, is really good for turkey hunting.
Really?
Never would have guessed.
Never would have thought that.
You know, all the snow they get and everything.
Right.
But yeah, it's fun. I mean, we're gonna go to Alabama coming up, then we're gonna go to Nebraska. Sam and Macy are getting married coming up.
Yeah, when is that big day?
I believe it's the 23rd. Amy will strike me down if that's the wrong date, but it's Memorial Day weekend. We did it on that weekend because we figured that'd give people an extra day and that kind of thing. Because we got just the way Sam and Macy are, they have friends all over the country, and they all want to be a part of that special day. And so there's a lot of people coming in. So we wanted to have a weekend where, hey, we'll give people enough time to have a good time Saturday night with us and still be able to get home safely and timely for whatever, they have coming up. So the only thing Macy requested, I'm sure this won't shock you, and you may know already, because Amy has taken this on full force. She's Weddingzilla is what I call her. So she wanted a mechanical bull. That's the only thing Macy asked for. Does this surprise you?
No,
not
at all.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny, the reaction, because Amy was like, absolutely not. And Amy's sister was like, absolutely not. And Grandma was like, absolutely not. And I was like, well, you're probably not going to have a wedding reception if she don't get her mechanical bull.
Right.
And now there's a mechanical bull there. So
that's what the bride wants.
Yeah. That is the only thing she asked for.
Yeah.
But that's been Macy her whole life. I mean, more worried about everybody else than herself. But yeah, that's the only thing. So she just told Amy, hey, do it, go after it, get it done. And actually, I would say, well, I'm sure you know the Hirsches from up there. So Sophie's getting married roughly the same time. So her and Shannon have been kind of like planning together and planning 2 weddings at the same time. So she's had they've been helping each other out a lot. So, yeah, it's.
You just stay out of it.
Yeah. That's the
smart man.
Yeah, that's the best thing. I remember, and I've mentioned Mark Ballman. He's a great guy. I worked with at the fire department, and he had twin girls. And I remember once Macy got to that age, I know it's probably a shock, but her and Amy probably got in an argument or 2 time and then. And I'd be at the fire department, have nothing to do with anything. I am gone for 48 hours. And I'll get a phone call. You need to tell your daughter to do this or that. And Mark would overhear it. He'd say, come here. I was like, what? He goes, I'll give you some good advice. And I was like, what? He said, number 1, try to stay out of it as much as you can, because before this conversation is going to be over, you're going to be the fault and you're going to be the bad guy, and them 2 are going to be best friends and they're going to hate you. Every time.
Pretty
Somehow
accurate.
or another, it was my fault, and I don't understand why, but yeah, it was good advice. But yeah, sometimes it's easier just to nod your head and
yep,
sure, okay, and but yeah, it should be a fun day. They've been, she's done a good job planning it, and I know Sam and Macy are looking forward to it. They're 2 peas in a pod.
Oh yeah,
so they work hard.
They work very hard.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I don't think we'd be where we were if it wasn't, this is just a side hobby until a lot of people don't know. It's just a hobby I did, and me and my wife would do when we had a little time off with her being a teacher, and she's actually retiring coming up.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's pretty excited about it. So,
she's gonna be your secretary after that.
I don't know if Macy would let her. So
there you go.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I think she is going to try to travel with us more. She does enjoy, a lot of the venues that we go to. They're a lot of fun and get to meet some interesting people from across the country and all that. But, yeah, I think she's I think she may dabble in it still a little bit because she's still, she loves what she does.
Mm-hmm.
And but with her being retired, she's going to be on a roll with us. And I think what we're going to do, we may split up a little more, but when they came on in 2021 at the end of the year, just what Macy's knowledge of social media and tech and everything, just a young generation, what her and Sam do, I didn't understand it. I didn't even know what Instagram was when we started this. And so what they brought to the table and their innovative ideas and then just their work ethic has just exploded this into...
And their personalities. I mean,
they're so easy to get along with.
And NWTF, we walk by the booth 100 times a day, and they're always chit chatting, entertaining, talking to someone, taking care of 100 different people that were in line, and it was neat to see.
Yeah, I mean it's cool to watch. Just sit back and watch sometimes, and realize, you know what, maybe me and Amy did do it right.
Absolutely, you did.
So it makes you feel good as a parent. That people like you, and which I know your kid. I mean, you've raised yours right, and then other people say, hey, you know what, you did a good job too, and just like I said, that whole crowd that we running into up there, it's neat to see the way all these people's kids have turned out, and just good, respectful, gives you hope for the future.
Absolutely.
We picked up decoys the other day up there at the farm for snow goose season, and his boys were on spring break. He was busy with anhydrous, and he brought his 2 boys out. And I never once had to ask them to pick anything up or do anything. They worked, and even when we were kind of done, they were still helping out with stuff. Like when you would expect most people, like my buddies, like, hey, I'll sit down and get on my phone or do this. They never stopped.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I told their grandpa came to pick them up, and I told them, I said, man, you guys did it right. It gives me faith in the future. And if anybody knows Kenny up there, he's got such a good sense of humor. He goes, well, we didn't have much to work with, but we did the best we did. And the little boy's like, Grandpa, but such good people. And it just, man, it's refreshing. And that's what I enjoy too. It's the way people are down south. When we started doing shows on there, them little kids, they come in the booth. If you say, how you doing today? You answered, man, it's yes, sir, no, sir. And it was neat to see. And it started making me feel good about, young people these days, and, just spend time with them. That field's still going to be there to plant tomorrow. Right. Go enjoy that golf with them. You know what I mean? And, all these different things that we do, we get caught up in. And my brother, who's 9 years older than me, he told me when I first had when we had Wade, he said, those ducks will still be there next year. Those geese will still be there. That overtime shift, you can pick it up next week.
Yep.
Don't miss it. And, buddy, I lived by that.
And how many people were telling you that, these kids are going to grow up fast, they're going to grow up fast?
They do.
Everyone did.
They do. People
were telling me the same thing. Now I'm getting, my boys are 18, 15, 14, and they're just...
Wow.
And now I'm kind of feeling like the old guy telling these younger parents, hey, enjoy that time.
Yeah. Well, you've been through it. You've seen it.
Because like Creighton, he's done with sports.
Yeah.
Crosby, he's freshman, and Canton's going to be a freshman next year, Dominic. And it's like, boy, they're going to start driving, and what am I going to do? Haley and I are going to be, we're going to be lost.
Yeah.
If we're not going to games 24/7.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My brother told me, because his youngest was a boy, and he was kind of a football star in their small town. They got and their girls were, really good athletes too, and they lived in a small town. Well, they all went away. And he said, we found ourselves on Friday nights just going up and watching the high school game because we didn't know what else to do with ourselves.
I could see Haley and I doing that someday.
Yeah.
Just because that's all, like you guys.
Yeah.
It's just, that's what we do.
And I always say God has a plan for everything, and that's why I think this all happened, because there's no way at all this would have even been possible when they were that young. Mm-hmm. There was no time for it. Mm-hmm. It was just like, hey, this happened while Macy was still in high school, and she was like, Dad, I just did that hoodie for me and my friends at Snow Goose hunting, and she's like, Dad, that's cool. Sell it on Instagram. I didn't know what Instagram was. But so we just dabbled in it. It was something fun to do here and there. But we were too busy with them. And then look at where Macy is now. At the age she is, I mean, she's running this. She runs this, basically. Yeah. I sign the checks and, help out on decisions here and there and design stuff. But, I mean, as far as the feet on the ground, grinding it out, making it happen, she's doing it.
That's awesome.
And she didn't learn it in school. She told me that she goes, the first 2 months on the road with you, I learned more in 2 months from you than I did in college in 2 years about business. And then everything else just experience, just self-taught. And that goes to show, have some trust in them. And has she fallen on her face? Yes. A couple times, a few probably. But those falls and those scars make her who she is now.
No doubt about it.
And you want to protect your kids and look out for their interests at all times, but you can't be that helicopter parent.
Right.
You got to let them, Lord knows I've failed a ton of times. But you know what? You pull up your boots and you keep going. And that's one thing I've seen with her that, yeah, she may have fell down today, but she's going to stand up tomorrow.
She's gonna stand up. Yep.
Yeah. So you raise them right, they'll figure it out. So what's coming up? Any more golf this week? Or weekend?
This afternoon we got practice. That's why when he turns 16, it'll be a little bit easier.
Yeah.
No, I think we've got a free weekend.
Wow.
We thought about going down to the lake to do a little crappie fishing.
Oh, I've heard that's pretty good right now.
It's really good right now.
Buddy of mine lives down there, says he's been just flat winter. He was saying I hope we get a little cooler weather because he said he was afraid they're going to be spawning here soon. And he said some of them already may have, depending on what part of the lake you're at. So because it's been warm.
Yeah.
So, but that sounds like a good weekend to me.
It doesn't sound bad. Well, it depends on what our kids' social schedule looks like.
Yeah,
and what my Uber schedule looks like for the rest of the weekend. Yeah. So no, that's it. And then golf goes during the week.
Yeah.
Nothing on the weekends for golf. I'd like to maybe get out and play myself, but
sure. I don't know how that goes.
Yeah.
It's people don't know I used to fish a lot. I'd never tournament fished or anything like that. I just was really into it. But when those two came along, I was too busy putting worms on the hooks and taking fish off the hook.
It's a lot of work
to be a fisherman anymore. So I enjoyed watching them catch them. One of the best stories about Macy, we went down there on spring break. They were in St. Paul at the time. They were little. And I mean, Amy didn't have a lot of money back then. I had an old John boat we had down there at the lake, and I think Grandma and Grandpa got him like a Batman and like a Barbie fishing rod or something. And there was a commercial dock out on the end of our cove, and we're out there just killing them. And they were having the time of their life. I barely caught any because I was too busy, taking crappie off and this. And we were throwing them all back because with those two at the time of the age they were at, just cleaning them all just didn't make sense. So we catch 90, 100 crappie in a day, and they're just tickled to death.
There's nothing better.
Yeah. And so I was busy doing that. So I called a buddy of mine that lived down there, and I said, hey, man, we're tearing them up. So he came over, and he did. He was a professional fisherman, bass boat, everything. I mean, just everything. And he was sitting there crappie fishing next to us, and actually Wade and Macy were catching more than him. And
it's amazing how that works sometimes.
That was Macy and her. And that's just the way Macy is. But it was funny because he goes, Blevins, one of my rods costs more than your whole setup. I mean, just kidding around, but Macy didn't know how to take it. She looks at him, she goes, yeah, but we're catching a lot more fish than you are. And I was like, whoa. And my buddy's like, little girl, you got me. I don't know what to say.
He can't say another word.
No,
that's great.
She had him right then and there. But that stuff like that I'll never forget. But
I can see her saying that.
Oh, yeah. I know she's just been one of those kids that, even at school, the teachers used to say that she stood up to the bullies. Didn't take, at times they were like, hey, maybe she's a little aggressive with the bullies. I was like, I don't see a problem with that.
Not at all.
Somebody has to check these people.
Yeah, no doubt.
And if you're not doing it as a teacher, then there's a problem. Then somebody takes care of business. So, yeah, but to have a little 110-pound blonde girl put you in your place in front of a bunch of people, that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes. But
I think it's great.
Yeah, she didn't do it physically. She did it with her mind.
Yeah.
So, but Well, man, I hope you guys get to go crappie fishing this weekend.
I hope so. If not, it's coming.
Yeah.
But then we got turkey season in there.
Yeah, throw that in, and then farming will start. I'm sure you already got the wheels turning on what you got to do.
Time.
So,
yeah.
But, man, I'm so glad you came and sat down with us. This was fun. Yeah. So, hopefully it won't be NWTF before I see you again.
Yeah, we need to get together prior to that.
Yeah. I know I'll see you at Duck Fest.
Oh, yeah.
So, but even before then, we'll try to do something. I don't know what it'll be, but I know how it gets. I mean, once you start going and we start going, it's just that's the way life gets.
Hey.
Yeah, it was sure a pleasure.
Thank you, John.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
Well, I'm Jon Blevins again. This is Tim McHugh. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Catch you next time.